Good afternoon. Once again, this is Belly Dancing 101, Beginners Belly Dancing. Mideast dancing it is also called. First of all, I want to thank everyone who has participated by watching and hopefully learning some belly dance steps. If there is a teacher or a class in your area, if you do not live in the Paducah, Kentucky area, find a class, find a teacher where you can start learning this art of dance. It's great exercise, it's movement, and it's about control and isolation. I'll always emphasize control and isolation because of our body muscles and the way we are structured. We start with the head, as you do, a mild head slide, which we have not done, but those muscles are important too. You do not want to hurt those muscles. Your shoulder muscles. Work with me as we move to warm up. While I'm talking to you, we're going to warm up a little bit. Just a slight movement. Take the shoulders back. These are some things that we have done. Also now, lift the chest, lift. As I explained in previous weeks, the chest is lifted from the rib cage. Although you're lifting your bust area, your control and isolation is coming from not only the rib cage, but also the chest muscles that are in front. Lift, lift, lift. You may have to use your stomach a little bit to help lift. Now let me emphasize this. Belly dancing is just not about the belly. It doesn't matter what size an individual is. It is about learning to use the muscles that we do not use every day. So, chest lift, lift. Think of an imaginary string that is pulling the chest up, up, up. And when it comes down, it drops. Up, drop, up, drop. Now, I want to also talk about arm movements because they are very important and what our hands are supposed to look like. This is arm movement 1, 2, to either side, 3, 4. This is a framing. This frames your body, gives an emphasis to the eye as to where to look. Also, the arms can go forward, forward, forward. No matter which way you're stepping. If you're going in a circle and you want to use your arms this way, you can. Always stay light on your feet, never lock your knees, and also remember your posture, which is the pelvic is tucked in slightly. Do not injure your lower back. That has happened. Because the dance is, as I state, control and isolation. Now we're going to move the chest to the right, to the left. Just remember that imaginary string pulling you, pulling, pulling, just the chest. The upper part of the chest and the bust area will follow. It is connected to the right, to the left. To the right, to the left. Because I'm facing you, it may look opposite, but just do the best you can in what you're doing and follow along. Then we have chest circles. The chest comes up, to the right, back, in the back. You don't want to do this. Do never scrunch because you will hurt your neck. So it goes to the right. Now first, let me start over. Up, right, back, left. Up, right, back, left. Up, right, back, left. Reverse. Up, left, back, right. Up, left, drop it. When it goes back to the right, neutral. Neutral is always never up, down, or anything. You're neutral in your natural form of standing. But just remember your posture. Never step out like this. Never looks right. What you do, in case you do need to step out, you step out gracefully, like pushing your hip. Last week we worked on hips, hip shimmies, hip movement. We're going to do that again today. We also worked on shoulder shimmies. I'm going to put music on in a little bit, but I do want to review what we have done in the past couple of weeks. Let me step back with the basic Egyptian step. Step to the right, as we've always done. If you can see my foot, I'll try to do this at an angle so you can see. I'm also going to use my arm and hand movements. With the hands, they're never like this because it makes you look scared. You stiff up, you can't move. You've got to keep breathing. The arms go like this, very graceful. So, as I begin, I'm going to begin with alternating my arms as I step and my hip goes up. I will review the hip lift in just a second. Here we go with the basic Egyptian step. Step, hip, step, hip, step, hip, step, hip, step, hip, step, hip. Basic Egyptian. We also did the turn. When we did with a hip. First of all, let me once again describe the hip lift. Up, slightly bend your knees. Never lock your knees. Keep them loose. Even if they're not totally bent, keep your knees very loose. So we go with the up. The hip movement is in here and here. Up, up, lift, lift. As you can see, I'm using that to frame my arm, to frame my hip, to describe what it's doing. Lift, lift, lift. Other side, opposite. Same thing. The movement is lifting from here. Yes, the knee is helping, but never locked, neither one. So we're going to lift up, and drop it. Up, drop, back to neutral. Up, drop, up, drop, up, drop. Great. Now, we've got the hip lift. We've done our basic Egyptian step. I'm going to turn again and put the chest lift, lock, and hip, as we have done in the past 3 weeks. This is what we do. 1, 2, 3, hip, up, down. 1, 2, 3, chest up. Now hip, then chest up, lock. I'll do it again. I sort of missed on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, hip, up, drop. 1, 2, 3, hip, up, drop. We're going to review. Don't forget that we came in with an entrance step of slide. Your arms are flowing just with the wind. Your feet are just sliding. If you want to walk it. Basically, those sliding. Give your body that feeling of air and that you're moving on a cloud. Okay, music. Shoulder shimmy, and then we'll go from there to the hip shimmies. Shoulder shimmy. Remember, bring your arms up. Third position, hands light, arms are light, the body's light. Okay? Shimmy, back and forth. Shoulders, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Double time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Now we're going to go back to the hip. We did hip circles. Step out. I'm starting with the left. I usually start with the right, but I'm going to the left today. So just step out, not that way, not this far. You've got to keep your balance. So you step out lightly. As you do, you push that hip out. Take it back, around. Got to take it around. Right is pushed out, the front is pushed out. Left, back, right, front. Left, back, right, front. Double timing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To add to that, we're going to do what we call a half moon with the hip. And then we'll go back into the shimmy. As you know, we've done hip slides. Okay, let's slide the hip to just sort of warm up those joints, even though we've lifted. And last week we did a hip drop. With time, we can probably try that again. Okay, remember that string. So you slide, slide. You slide, you're isolating and control. Isolating and control. It's like you're just sliding, 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 sliding. With control. Okay, now, you're in your neutral position. You're going to do a half hip circle. And from there you go into position 2, or you can do this. Probably easier to see my hip if I frame it. So let's go with that. You step out, around. Come back to neutral. Around. Around. Reverse. Around. Not all the way around. You've got to come halfway. That's why we call it a half moon. I do, because it looks like a half moon. Come out and stop. Out and stop. See my feet? Out and stop. Right, stop. Hip out, stop. Hip out, stop. Half moon, hip circle. Not the full one. We'll go into that. Let's start with the full hip circle. Right, back, left, front. Right, back, left, front. Right, back, left, front. Then do a half moon. Arms out, in position 2 or 4. 1 up, you're framing the hip. The arms can do many things to make a step look very pretty. Halfway, halfway. You don't even have to move with this. You can sway this. Sway it, sway it. As you sway it, I'm going to go around and show you that my body is somewhat going back. Sway, sway, pushing that hip back, sway, hip back, sway. You swinging it around. No problem. Shouldn't be a problem, could be a problem. But you have to keep the body moving and know that this is the part of your body you're working with. Music. Shoulder shimmies. Now we're going to do hip shimmies again, and that is with First of all, this is a different kind of shimmy, as we call it an agitator, like the old washing machines used to be. Just shimmy the hip. But the knees are not locked because you can't move. I lock my knees. I'm not going anywhere but up here. Slightly bent, move the hip. The control is here. Control. My shoulders are not going with them. They may be slightly moving, but unless I want to do this, 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 then you isolate. Either way, when you do both, it's called layering. But today we're not going to layer. We're going to isolate and control. So, now another hip shimmy that we worked on. Remember, this is the agitator type shimmy. Next one is a lock. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Full shimmy. Slightly bend your knees and just let the body shake. Just shimmy. Okay, that is the full hip shimmy in a faster motion. You can walk and shimmy. Okay, gonna do shoulder shimmies with music and the hip shimmy. Working with the hip lift is because I want to introduce a new step called step back hip hip. The way it's performed or executed is that you step back, bring that left foot down, step back with the right foot, step back, left foot is on the ball, bring the right foot up again, you go down on the left. This sounds confusing, but I'll show you. And then you go hip, hip. It's step back, hip, hip. Step back, hip, hip. Step back, hip, hip. Left side. Step back, step back, hip, hip. Step back, and when you do, you're going back with a little bit of a lean. Don't get off balance. Make sure your knees are locked and your weight is in your thighs. To the right again. Step back. Keep watching my feet. I'll demonstrate that again. Step back. Foot goes down. Left foot goes down. Right foot comes back up. That's to support that hip and help it go up. Lift. This is how it looks in full time. Step back. Hip, hip. Step back. Hip, hip. Step back. Hip, hip. Step back, lost some balance there, but anyway. Step back, hip, hip. Step back, hip, hip. Step back, hip, hip. Just remember, lift the hip. We did do a hip drop last week. The hip came up and it dropped. Drop, 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 drop. Okay, I want you to do the hip drop with this. Step back, drop. Step back, drop. Do 2 drops. Step back, drop, drop. Step back, drop, drop. Step back, drop, drop. Step back, drop, drop. Easier said than done, but it takes practice. So don't get discouraged on any of these steps. None of them, because they're not easy to do. And there's one thing that we didn't do last week that we did the week before, was a hip slide with a thrust. So I'm going to demonstrate it again. The hip is going out and it's locking, it's a thrust. Boom, Knees slightly bend. Stay with me. Slide, thrust, thrust, thrust. The feet are moving. The dominant foot on each side is what's leading. Thrust, thrust, thrust. On the ball of your foot. Thrust, thrust, thrust. Ball of the foot to lead. Thrust, thrust, thrust. The foot doesn't lead. The hip is what's leading. The foot is supporting. The ball of the foot. Thrust, 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 thrust. Great. Oh, got that? If you don't, let me know what you need help with, and I will continue to review whatever is needed. So, we've done half moon with our hips. We've done full hip circle. Start this time to the right, go around, come around. Shoulder shimmy, hip lift, chest up, lock, slide, slide, slide. Now let's put arms with that slide. Go out, out, out. Sway. You actually are at this time taking the body out. Slide, slide, or sway, sway. You get looser in here. Music. 5, 6, 7, go. We'll start with the hip circle. Then we'll go into thrusting. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thrust. 1, 2, 3, hip. My director has given me time. I'm going to tell him to give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes, Mr. Director. Okay, to do this, and we'll step back. Hip, hip. Ready, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Step back, step back. Hip, hip. Step back, lift, lift. Step back, lift, lift. Reverse. Step back, lift, lift. Step back, lift, lift. Step back, lift, lift. Chest again. Very important to loosen the chest. You know, diagonal, you can walk with it. Up, lock, up, lock, up, lock, up, lock, up, lock. Now we're going to slide back. Remember the arms are light and flowing. Take them up, let them flow. Good. Shoulder shake. Shake. With arms in position 1. Arms in position 2. Chin. Keep chin. Arms in position 3. Arms in position 4. Frame. Up, out. Stretch your arms out. Relax the body. Stretch. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Slightly roll your arms back. Forward. I'm moving back. Since I'm basically out of time, I decided to go off with something very happy, which is the song Happy by Pharrell. What I want everybody to do is love themselves, love each other, take care of yourselves, and stay positive, stay happy, no matter what's happening. This movement is a happy dance. It keeps your body moving, it refreshes the mind, and it keeps you creative. Therefore, we're going to go off, and I'm going to dance off to Happy by Pharrell.